listen, if that doesn't get you excited on a Monday night, I don't know what will. Maybe the fact that Starbucks gave away free coffee today got you excited. Something about being the Monday after the Super Bowl, like the Mondayest of Mondays is what I heard on the street. I don't know. I didn't go try it out. I don't drink Starbucks. But that song, you can never hear the music. Debbie, well, then I must look like a goober over here singing and you can't hear anything. I don't know why you can't hear it. That's weird. So anyway, that last song, that Country Roads Take Me Home, it has so many artists in it, so many country artists and different what hear their voices. Like I know who it is. How many of you have seen maybe on TikTok or you might have seen a video somewhere where there's like a mom or a grandma or a coach and behind them is their team and they'll be like, "Hey coach," and they have to guess what name of the kid it is. Have y'all seen that? Some of you have? Yeah, like that's what a team looks like, right? Like when you hear someone's voice all the time, that's who it is. And as I heard those people singing, I knew, where Carrie Underwood came in and where Brooks and Dunn was and Toby Keith and George Strait. And I can think of all that because it's something that like I've enjoyed being a part of. I love music. I love listening to country music, especially. And I also love being on a team and we all have a different voice and we all have a different part. And so if you're here tonight and you're brand new, welcome to our team. We do karaoke on Monday nights at 6:50. So show up. You don't really know what you're going to get, but you're going to get fun. You're going to get excited. And I saw some of you singing and enjoying it. And some of you are like, what did I just roll up on? But you never know when a mic's going to come in handy. So keep one by your desk, in your pocket, whatever. Never know when you need to be loud and use it. Super glad that you're here. You are truly in the midst of incredible people. Some of these people that you see on the screen, I've got to talk to and hug and spend time with and grow with and cry with and learn from. And I hope that you get to do the same. We meet every Monday night from 7 to midnight. So I hope you're in for the long haul. It's, just get comfy. If you want to put your house shoes on, that's fine. Look at Chuck. He's like, midnight? No way. No way. I'm just kidding, Chuck. Oh, geez. And then some people are disappointed because they're here for the all-nighter, but it's usually an hour-ish, right? And we're going to go through some different things that we've recently learned. We're going to hear stories. This is your cue. Listen up. If you have a new demo story, be thinking about it right now, okay? If you recently patched someone up, whether it was on FaceTime or you drove 3 hours, Steve, that's your cue. Whatever it was that you did this past week, that was new with someone, I want to hear about it. I want to learn from you. I want to know your ways. We had a Zoom earlier today with our CEO. You're going to hear a couple of things, maybe some secrets from that, depending. I'll see what kind of eyes Steve gives me as to whether we're going to share all we heard, right, Crystal? We kind of like, oh, wait, no, maybe not. Okay, he's telling me not to tell you anything. Well, good thing he's not in control of the Zoom. So we'll see what we can do. But I'll tell you this. If you show up on Monday night, you're going to grow. Okay. The people that are getting on these Zooms, those people that you see right now, they're not getting paid to do it. But the people that show up to the Zooms, they're getting paid. Did you catch that? Did I say it right, Steve? I felt like it came out a little bit Spanish. Yeah. You heard it, right? Did y'all, it didn't feel right, but does that make sense? You're not getting paid to show up. But those that show up are getting paid because you're learning, you're leaning in, you're hearing something. And I don't know about you, but I don't ever want to miss out on anything. Yesterday, parents' house for the Super Bowl, they always do a big party at their house. And I could care less. I mean, I was excited thinking about who's wearing the patches, and I'm looking under those white shirts, hoping that I'm going to see a square just one day. Something's going to it's just going to show up or fall off on the field because they hit too hard and they're sweaty. I don't know. I really hope that like they put it under their pad so it doesn't move. That's what I would suggest, but whatever. So I'm sitting here watching the game, and like I said, I could care either way. I'm there for the snacks, like truly there for the snacks. And so I enjoyed all of the snacks. But my sister and I, my older sister and I, we were talking back in one of the bedrooms, and my mom walks in and we stopped talking because, well, naturally, we were talking about her. And she walks back in and she goes, I walk in and y'all stop talking. And I'm like, no, Mom, I was just but she had a moment where she missed out. She wanted to know, what were you talking about? And so if you're late on a Zoom, or if you don't show up on a Zoom, then you're asking someone, wait, what did you say? What did I miss? And chances are you're going to feel left out, right? And my mom was fine. I mean, she knows we're 38 and 40. Come on, we can talk about whatever we want at this point. We tell her what to do sometimes. And so it was better that she didn't hear it. It's because she's like, has a hard time organizing things on her walls, and we were talking about decorating stuff, and it wasn't going to interest her anyway. But all to say, when you show up, yeah, Jamie, me too. I don't want to miss anything. When you show up, you're going to be a part of something that's bigger than you. And I hope that you'll be stretched. Okay. Know that the Miracle Workers page that we have on Facebook, if you don't know, when I say the word Miracle Workers, if you don't know what that means, give me your upline's phone number, and we're going to have a talk, because we talk about that every week. That's where we put every piece of information in. We have a guide section. It is all for your success. Okay. Almost every question that is asked can be answered in there. And I love that some of you are catching on, because we're like, did you check the guide section? You're really quick to go, I already checked the guide section. I'm asking because I didn't see it, and some it could just be right there and you just missed it. And so we don't always have the time to go in and personally do those things, but that page is for you. That Facebook page is for you, for your growth, for us to post. Oh my goodness. I see some people have got their Super Patch swag. Sherry, I see your new shirt. Look at it. Show us in your screen. Look at her with her blue. Anybody else order swag? I totally did. Yeah, yeah. And all of the patch marks are like the emblems on there. I love it. Yeah, or whatever it's called. Yeah, it's like little tattoos. Yeah. Do you know that I had people ask me before if this is going to become a tattoo? I'm like, I hope not. I don't like needles. Anyhow, lots of great things happening. So I'm super glad that you're here. So here's the fun part. Crystal, you can put your hand back up. If you have a new story to share, it's been up the whole time. You've been really patient, or you were just waving at me. I'll take high fives all day. Put your hand up and share with me a new story you have. I want to hear from you. Okay. So Crystal, you go ahead, share a story, testimony, whatever it is that you were. I'm
I have a
assuming that was
great
what you're.
story. Yeah, I do. I do. My testimony's on myself. I volunteer. So Saturday, I put on the combo that Jay suggested, the 4-patch combo. And then I did the actual like whole system structure, whatever he said to do. Like I can't think of the word. I did it. I wrote my name backwards a bunch of times. I said a bunch of positive things to myself, and I felt really great throughout the rest of the day. I felt like I had kind of unlocked something within myself. But this was not my testimony. Yesterday, I went all day long in miserable pain and falling over. And it wasn't until 8 p.m. that I realized I hadn't patched up at all. Never, not one time yesterday did I patch up. And I was getting frustrated because I was like, I had such a great day yesterday. I had all these patches on, and I'm going about my day and I'm thinking, why do I feel like crap? So this morning I woke up and I just decided not to patch up because I sometimes take them off at night. My skin gets hot. Um, I woke up this morning with a horrible migraine, horrible migraine. Like I didn't want to get out of bed. And I threw on my Liberty patch because I knew I didn't have it at all. I haven't had migraines in a while too. Like that's something I haven't had. Put on my Liberty patch, put on all my patches that he had suggested, all 4 of those. So peace, joy, kick it, liberty. And then I put on a freedom patch and I felt like $1,000,000 today. So wear your patches. That's all.
I love that. Wear your patches. That's all. We need to put that on a little slogan. Are you patched up? Right? Like, do you know where your kids are? It's like, do you know where your patches are? Use them. I love that. Crystal, thank you for sharing that. Rev, I see your hand is up. Go ahead and share with us a story you have.
All right. So do you hear me first? It said my
Yes,
mic
sir.
wasn't working.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. I can hear you.
So we did a show at Bowie, Texas, just Saturday, and 11 demos. The very last lady came along. Her name was Debbie. She's 70, and she was on a walker. And we just talked and talked and talked. And finally, Barbara said, "Put a Liberty on her." I didn't want to do the balance test. I was afraid to. And so I put it on her, and I said, just walk around for a little bit and come back. And one of her goals was to be able to stand up straight. When she came back, she was standing up straight. I mean, it was an amazing thing. And Steve, she will be signing up. We just haven't got her together yet, but she wants to do the business.
That's awesome. Why wouldn't she, right?
Right.
Like it worked for her. She has a story immediately and she can tell that story and help other people. That's really cool. Her goal was people don't have small goals here when we start talking to them about this magic, y'all. Have you noticed? It's like, And so I'll kind of sit with people a little bit, sometimes Rev, and then a little bit later I'll go, so how are you feeling? And they'll go, well, I don't really know what to feel. And I go, well, I'm not really going to tell you how to feel. So we're going to have to talk in a little bit. And I just keep this thing going because I don't want to create in them something that they might know. But they hear stories and they're like, oh, well, if she can walk, so can I. If he can make a million, so can I. I love that. I love that, Rev. Thanks for sharing. Sherry, you and your blue super patch shirt. Go ahead, unmute and share a story you have.
Well, first of all, I'm apologizing for cooking dinner while we're on the Zoom because it's past 8 o'clock here. And yeah, I go from one grandchild to another grandchild. Anyway, so my story is, I've been being real diligent. I love stories on Facebook. I love them because I can be very wordy and make them like point to a certain thing I want them to see. Or I can hear somebody talking about something and I immediately go make a story about it. So I don't have to talk to them. I mean, I don't have to call them on the phone and say, hey, are you feeling down today? I just go and put on a story, a testimony about somebody who's feeling down and how it helped them. So I've had 2 people this week call. I'm just saying, just keep, I don't know which way to move on this camera. I'm so sorry. Just keep posting things, keep telling people, because I've had 2 people of the pain, or is it really going to make me more stable? And what else? That's just like, say, come on over here and demo me. So I'm like, I'll come over and show it to you, show it to them. Boom, they're both customers. Neither one of them want to sell it, but that's all right. They are changed as of this week.
I love that.
And
Sherry.
I love it. So
I love
keep
it.
on
And
posting, keep on sharing, because one day they'll get to the place just like the son did in the Bible in the pig pit. When you get to that place, you'll have nowhere else to turn. You'll go to something that you don't understand, or you'll go home. So anyway, that's all.
Or you'll go home. That's right. I love it. She says that's all, but that's not really all. I love it, Sherry. I know you could talk hours upon end.
I know.
Helped you and everybody around you. So thank you for sharing that with us, because we do have to stay consistent because people are looking, and you keep cooking for those babies. I don't want them to go without eating, and you're fine in the camera. We can see everything. I didn't know that you zoomed without pants on, but that's okay. Everybody does what they want to do. I'm kidding. I'm seeing who's paying attention on the Zoom right now.
It's a long shirt, so you're all safe.
I love that I can have fun with y'all. Jamie, I see your hand is up. Unmute and share with us a story you have. I can't wait to hear it.
Oh my gosh, this has been like the best week ever. I've gotten 4 new.
Wait, stop. You've said that every week you've been here, Jamie. I just need to know every time, y'all. Am I wrong? She's going, this has been the best ever. This has been go ahead.
Hey, it's gonna get better every week too. I'm just getting started here. No, for real, it's been amazing. It has been my best week here. I got 4 new customers this week. Got a customer yesterday that I'm super excited about because he and his wife have a ton of health problems, and he's been a sales guy his entire life. And he said, if these things work, and we know they're going to work, he said, if these things work, my wife and I are going to sell these things like crazy. So I'm super excited. He placed his order yesterday, so he'll have them by the end of the week. And I brought in a new associate yesterday, and I think she's on the call. I saw her before. It's actually a husband and wife that I've known for a couple years, and they came in with the Momentum Kit, and they've done other network marketing companies as well. They're on fire. Steve and I talked to them, I think it was Thursday night, and they're like, we really want to try these and make sure it works. So Steve drove like 3 hours round trip yesterday, met with the husband and wife and all 3 kids. He did balance tests on all 5. I got videos of everything. It was utterly amazing. I wish I could have been there in person. Steve is amazing, absolutely amazing. I'm so grateful for him and all of his help. I just connect people with him, and then he closes everybody. So it's just been amazing. I don't know what else to say.
That's awesome. He also sends Venmo. So have you sent him your Venmo number yet?
The Venmos.
Alex, and Renee, I think, are on the call. There's somewhere I saw them here.
Yeah,
earlier.
yes, we're here. We're here. Hold on, I should put my video on.
There's
I'm right
a,
here.
Yay.
Sorry, I just got back from school conferences. So. Yeah, it was amazing. It was an amazing
Alex,
experience.
welcome to the Super Patch Company. It was great to meet you guys all yesterday. Thank you for making
Same.
it. Because listen, these guys drove an hour and 20 minutes my way, so they made a big commitment to get these patches themselves yesterday, and it was fun meeting the boys. And how old are the boys? I'm going to guess 11, 9, and 6.
11, 9, and 7. Yeah,
Yeah.
so very, very close.
Yeah, so we demoed all the boys up, and they were having fun. Carrie, you'll appreciate this, at the Kalahari Resort in Wisconsin Dells.
Yes, it was an amazing, amazing, amazing day. We had so much fun. We had so much energy just from our meeting yesterday, and just seeing everything and experiencing everything, and the kids, thinking they're Superman, having a Liberty patch on.
We threw a couple peace patches on the boys, and then after about 20 minutes, I went, no, they're wrestling on the ground. I'm like, those peace patches don't work. Don't worry about it.
They were happy. They were happy.
Yeah, they were.
They were happy.
Anyways, welcome, Jamie. Great
Thank
job
you.
connecting the whole
Thank
thing.
you
So
so
great
much.
job.
One thing I just wanted to share that I'm really excited about too is Alex and her husband her husband's from Germany. Alex lived in Germany for a long time, so they're already talking to people in Germany. So it's amazing to have like literally a worldwide business. We're so excited.
Yes, that's awesome. Welcome to the best of the best. It's truly great here. And I'm super glad you got to meet Steve. It's a big deal when he comes to you. So make the most of it, Alexandra.
Yes, I agree. It was an honor for us. I'm very humbled. We told him that yesterday too. Just the fact that he drove all the way from Milwaukee to meet us and gave us a time he took his time to meet us, and I knew that was something very, very special, and I'm just so glad that we didn't just get to talk with him, but we got to meet him in person, and I'm just so grateful. I don't know what to say. I'm very excited, and I'm very, very, very grateful. So I'm just gonna take it from there.
Good.
Carrie, I think we should just end the Zoom right now. How do you
That's
feel?
it. That's all you need to do. Demo people and they feel it. Have Steve drive to everyone. Moral of the story, Steve F. Car will drive. No, Steve, I hope you told her about your friend owning Kalahari. Yeah?
Yeah, I told her about my friends who own the resort and all kinds of fun stuff. So,
all the friends Steve
We
had.
were very impressed.
Yeah, they all made resorts and are making a ton of money. Steve chose to help people with relationships and make people better off, right? So those other people built stuff, and Steve decided to make something out of his life with helping others. So I love it. I love it, Steve. How fun is that? Small world. That makes me think of the Dells and everything that goes on over there, So you never know. That's awesome. We've got to be willing, you guys, as leaders, to help out our team. I have people tell me, hey, how close is this to you? I'm like, oh, that's 2.5. Oh, well, that's 6. Oh, that's 3. I'll meet them in the middle or sometimes go all the way. You just got to decide that and have that conversation. But when you put that value out there, Alexandra, you're going to be on Steve's radar. So tag, you're it. You better be doing something with it. I'm super glad you're here. Jamie, that's great. Thank you for sharing. Jamie, I love the newness of what you have. When we have someone new that comes in and they're exciting, it energizes me. And I've been here, April will be 3 years. And that's what we get when we demo someone new. That's why I ask you about these stories. Lori, I'm coming to you next. But that's why I ask you, what are the new demos you have? Because it energizes the rest of us. And I'll tell you, and you're not going to like this, the next thing I'm going to say. You're not going to like it, but I'm going to say it. If you're not raising your hand to share a new demo story, you're not just hurting yourself by not sharing. There's millions of people when you leave your house or post online that need help, and you're hurting our team because we miss out on being energized by you. Do you understand? Yeah? It's a whole thing here. It's a whole country road, take me home. We got a violin player and a guitar and a singer and someone to video it and someone to edit it and someone shining the lights, and someone's got to own the field that we walk through to sing it. It's all a part of the whole thing that we play. Lori O'Brien, share with me a testimony you have about one of the patches or whatever you have from this past week.
Well, I don't know where to begin because I'm the overthinker, and I've been bothering Carrie today like I do, but it is what it is. And Steve, I'll throw you in there too. Yeah, I got you too this morning. Well, I'm an overthinker. I don't get out of my way easily. And today, Carrie gave me a very good push. And I opened up my phone and I started from the letter A. And I called everybody in the A's and started in the B's. People that I did not remember, wasn't even sure how I met them, found people that I had spoken to 2 years ago that I didn't follow up properly with. Just the whole thing. So when they say do it scared, I have to keep telling myself this: get out of your way, get out of your way. I spoke with the funeral woman that did my mother's funeral last year that helped me out, and I called her and she had no idea who I was, but thankfully picked up the phone. She was ever so gracious that I reached out to her. I reached out to another woman that I haven't probably seen in 10 years, and she couldn't remember who I was, didn't have my number in her phone. I told her who I was. She was very thankful and said, I can't believe you're calling me right now. I am in such pain. She just had something done and this and that. And so that was good. So it's kind of making me feel a little bit better about life here today. Last week, I had a friend patch up her 11-year-old grandson to play basketball. And I was calling her and she happened to be in the car picking him up. She says, James, so how did you like that patch? Well, he starts saying the things that we're all hearing, how he felt like he could get the ball to the hoop better. He just felt energized better, saying all the things that we hear. And this was from an 11-year-old boy that had not even been coached or anything. I don't know. Today ended up being a good day after I was beating myself up. So if you're beating yourself up, call me because I'll help you. I can help you now probably get out of it. So I'm just keep going, and I'm going to have this event ready. Come rain or shine, we're doing it.
Lori, I heard you say get out of your own way. So I just wanted to share with you that I think that every one of us gets into that boat, like almost every day. It's a constant reminder.
Mm-hmm.
And what I hear from you is that you're willing to move and grow, and that you're like thankful for the leadership that we have here, because I'm telling you, it's not like anything we had like anywhere else. Nowhere else have I ever had guidance like we have here. And when you talk about getting out of your own way, I think about what Jay talked about over the weekend, and just literally being in your own mind and constantly telling yourself like, no, I can't do this. I almost did this morning. I got up and I wasn't going to do a reading that I do every morning. It's something that I've committed to doing, and I knew that I needed to do it. And I said out loud, it can wait. And it reminded me of what Jay had said to us this weekend, when you go and you give yourself that okay to say, okay, well, yeah, that escape to say like, okay, well, I don't need to make that call. Or if I call that person, they're probably going to be annoyed with me, or any other doubts that we put into our mind. And so when you're talking, you're saying I had to get out of my way. I just think everything we've learned this last weekend, I have all my notes still in front of me, and then all the printouts, and I just keep reviewing them. And I just encourage everyone else to do that too, because there was so much goodness that came from that. I mean, it took me out of my own way. I was in my own way. I've been in my own way. And I don't know if that comes as shocking to some of you, because I'm very outspoken here, but I was in my own way up until this weekend. And I can share on that a little later if Carrie wants me to, but really I had to have my eyes opened over the weekend, and like kind of a slap in the face. And it wasn't lightly, to go, whoa, Crystal, you've been sitting on a landmine, a gold mine, like all of this here. You've been sitting on your success and you haven't done it because you've been in your own head. So
Yep.
I'm proud of you for saying that, yes, I was in my own way and that you're getting around that. But I just want to remind you, like, every single day, every single one of us is fighting that battle. And we don't have a boss down our neck. We don't have a to-do list that we have to mandatorily get done or we don't get paid, but we do. Because it's our business and it's our obligation. We committed to this. So getting out of our own way is a constant decision. So I'm just really proud of you. And I'm just grateful that you have the leadership here. And you mentioned something about Carrie having to kind of be firm on you a little bit. I'm obviously putting in my own words, but I think how blessed are you to have someone that's willing to say, listen, I need you to get out of your own way here, and to have that patience. So I'm really grateful you shared that, and sorry for intervening, but I just felt like I needed
No,
to.
you're good. And Saturday was definite gold, and that is definitely a Zoom that needs to be rewatched over and over. Like, I can't wait to rewatch it just because of trying to take the notes, because I'm not real good at that either. Like, I'm trying to listen and then still take notes. So like I jotted some notes down, but definitely rewatch. That was gold.
They're gonna chunk it up in pieces so that's easy to rewatch. And as soon as it's back there, we'll alert everyone. So yeah, Lori, you didn't get in my way, you got in your way and you figured it out. So I'm proud of you and glad you stepped it up. And I loved coming to you and doing that meeting, the very first one that we did. That was large and in charge. You did a fantastic job. We had a blast. That's where I met Teresa, one of your downline, right? And then, being able to come again. And so, yeah, you didn't bother me. You bothered yourself. So remember that as you go to share. So you did great. And we survived it another day, right? And you learned something. And I love that you brought up that you just went through your contact list, because we're actually going to talk about that tonight. It's from a aha moment Crystal and I were talking about over the weekend. Thank you for sharing that, Lori. I appreciate you. You know I do. Mark Powicki, I see your hand is up. Share a story you have. Look at all these hands, you guys. Steve, look at all these hands that are up. They're like, we're going to share new stories. I love it. I love learning from everyone. Mark, if you're there, go ahead.
Sorry about that. Technical malfunction. Hey, everyone. So a couple things. One, I had I sent Steve and Carrie the video from last week. I had a lady, 30 years of pain, living in pain. I treat her brother, who's all about the patches, and he's referred about 5 or 6 people to me. He not really interested in doing the business, but he's referring people to me that so that's been great. And it's really because I helped his sister that's been in basically 8 to 10 out of 10 pain every day for the past 30 years, trying to manage it, put the Freedom Patch on. And when she puts it in the right place, it's a 0, which I was like, that is incredible, because 50 to 70% relief is pretty typical. That's, but to have someone go from a 10, and 9 or a 10 to a 0 and, was super cool. And then I also I've got a woman in my downline who's a massage therapist hasn't been doing a lot with the business, and, but kind of stay on people. You can't drag people to the finish line, as they say, but at the same time, you got to stay in touch with people, because, you never know what's going to happen. And she works in an office with a chiropractor and a naturopath. And anyways, I met with the naturopath today. She's blown away with the patches. So trying to get her on the call tomorrow night, but should be. And then this other massage therapist has another one too. So if I can get her 2 people that actually want to start rolling, it's going to be huge. That'll be nice momentum for her. So kind of, anyways, but good stuff. So I'm amped. It's only Monday.
That's awesome. I love that. I'm amped and it's only Monday. Well, we've got so many. Mark, for sharing that. That is an incredible story. You need to post that in Amazing Patch Stories. That was great.
Listen, I sent you the video. The idea, listen, you're supposed to be the technical person.
Oh, so you didn't ask me to post it in there. I was supposed to read. Steve, did you get that message? Was I supposed to?
Listen,
what did I miss?
Listen,
look at this.
Well, you do everything. Like, this is what I'm saying. I'm like, I did the video. I sent it to you, and you gave me the thumbs up. I thought I was taking care of.
Carrie, why didn't you have them join the business? Well, because you never told me to call them.
Oh, so it's my
I love
fault.
It, Mark. I'll share it.
It's all right. It's just like being married. It's just like being at home. It's all good.
If you if you need me to read between the lines, I'll start doing it. Okay. If you need me to find your lost socks, Mark, I'll get them.
Listen, it's always my fault. So I just want to apologize in advance for anything that I do wrong in the future because I know it's coming, okay?
I love it. Thanks, Mark. I'll be posting your video now everywhere. Miss J, I see you have your hand up. Share with us a story. Once you unmute, that is. There you are.
Well, it is and it isn't in relationship to sharing patches. It's more of a learning tool. I've been in the business for 13 months. And when I joined, someone told me to share the way I was introduced to it, right? Well, that's what I've been doing, but I've been doing it wrong. So I wanted to admit of my mistake to hopefully help someone else not to fall into that pit where I was. I was trying to recruit all ambassadors or associates. I kept hearing about customers, but it went over my head. No one explained to me how easy it was for a customer to join. So I've been trying to bring everybody in as an associate for 13 months.
You gotta let them decide, Miss J. You gotta let them decide.
So I had a moment, a light bulb moment went off this past Friday, when a friend of mine from another business wanted to be a customer. I said, well, you do this, and that. The same thing I've been doing. She said, no, I don't want to pay $40. No, I don't want all these smart shifts. I just want to be a customer. It took about an hour and a half to get through my thick brain that there was an easy way for a customer.
Well, Miss J,
I am on fire now. You're going to see.
I'm glad you were on fire and shared that. But I'll tell you this: I've been on the same Zooms you've been on, and what do we always talk about? People get to be a customer or a customer who
but
gets.
It didn't register. It didn't register in my pea brain.
All right, but just so you know, I've heard it when you've heard it. Just so that we're clear.
I know. I know. And
I'm glad it's finally registered.
Yeah. I'm not comprehending what you're saying. You see?
I'm glad it's finally
sunk in.
Good. Now let's watch you get a bunch of customers.
Yes,
Give people a break. Let them do what they want.
Thank you for letting me share that.
I love it, Miss J. Thanks for sharing your mistake and admitting that. Sometimes it takes hearing it over and over and over and over and over again. My kids will ask me, Mom, why are you yelling? I'm like, because you only hear me at decibel yell. You don't hear me at decibel calm the first time.
Right.
They only hear me when I go psycho. So anyway, I'm glad you heard it. I love that. Thanks for sharing. Esther, I see your hand is up. Share with us a story that you have, maybe of a patching someone up or driving across the ice. I don't know what you're going to say.
Oh, I have got it all for you. So I got to go to my first market this weekend, Friday and Saturday. It was great. I demoed 11 people. I have a list of 12 to get back with, and it was really good. I loved the reception that I got, and what I could let them teach them about the patches. And what was really cool is one gal, she remembered my name and friended me on Facebook, and I've been talking to her, and it's like, wow, how'd you remember my name? That's amazing to me. The other thing that's really cool is, the webinar, I was sad. The one day I was busy, I couldn't get on. And then on top of it, it started at 4 a.m. Alaska time. So it's like, but I registered for it anyway, because I heard that he was sending some stuff out. And I was, half asleep, drinking my coffee. And I got on the webinar that last 45 minutes just before the lunch break. And I got so much out of that little bit. And, I haven't had a chance to try out those 4 patches yet, but I'm so excited about that. And then did you see the picture I posted on the sunrise? I was going across the ice in the lake.
Yes, I did.
And I was listening to Jay some more, that last little bit, heard his amazing story of his, dad making him write out the botanical, the encyclopedias. And that was an amazing story I've never heard before. So I got a couple little bits, and I'm so excited to hear that he's going to be releasing some of that, all of that.
Yeah. Part of the recordings. Yes. So thank you for sharing that. It was really great. And we were going to talk about that a little bit after this too, after demo stories and such, what people's favorite takeaways were from the mastermind. So I love that those of you've already shared, you're gearing up and getting excited because it was incredible and definitely worth sharing. Thanks for sharing that. Yes, I saw that picture, Esther, and it makes me super nervous. Super nervous to think about driving on the ice.
Sometimes I go, oh, but I know I'm okay.
I don't know. Did you hear that? Sometimes she goes, Anyway, I've watched too many movies, I suppose. Thanks, Esther. I appreciate you. And yeah, 4 a.m. That's early. I feel like you're not even part of the U.S. with how far you are away. I gotta come. Steve, we gotta set up a meeting with Esther. Let's go when we can drive over those lakes.
Yes.
When it's 24 hours a day sunlight or darkness, we can do it.
Yeah, I'm all for something new like that. Let's do it, Esther.
Yeah.
I say winter and summer. Yes.
That's awesome. Okay, I see a hand up. The Sutton family. That'd be Larry and Rona, right? Am I right? Y'all go ahead and share with us a story you have from this week. And then we're going to get into talking about that mastermind. Oh, there's somebody.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes.
Okay.
I can see the picture.
I know it's difficult with the microphone. Larry and I was out prospecting today, getting solidified for our March 22nd. So we found a hotel. We got to demo the front desk person. He was amazed by it, loved it. We did a video, but the video just wound up being a picture. My cameraman only got a photo, not the video, but we still have it. He talks about his mom, come from another state to take care of mom. So he definitely want to get her in on it. He wanted to know, well, can anybody come to the meeting? Sure, absolutely. Everyone could come. We're opening up Wilmington. So I'm definitely excited about that. That went off without a hitch. And like always, 100% of the people, 100% of the time with Liberty, go Liberty.
There you go. I love that. Wilmington, North Carolina is going to take over March 22nd. They're already taking over. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. Thank you for sharing, you guys.
Thank you.
I'm a stallion.
Yeah, you are. No, we don't have any donkeys around here, Larry.
Ain't no donkeys around. Ain't no donkeys around. No, a stallion.
That's right. Somebody's listening, Crystal. Somebody's listening to you.
Yes.
I love that. Okay, Sue, share super quick.
Yeah, just real quickly. Yeah, I wasn't going to say anything, but I was up to my mom's yesterday. She's in assisted living, and I end up staying at a hotel when I'm there. And the gal at the front desk is very friendly. And the reason I'm kind of bringing this up is I tend to judge people as to whether I should show them the opportunity or whatever. You know how you think. She was telling me how she didn't have any money. Her car wasn't working, blah, blah, blah. And in my mind, I'm going, well, she would never have money to do anything like this. But then she started sharing with me all the problems she was having. Her mom needed more focus. She was having pain in her back and just all kinds of concerns. So I did the demo on her and she was really blown away by that. And then I just shared with her how this business is really a team thing. And if she was interested, just get some other people together that would be interested in seeing the patch too. My main theme here is just that it's really easy to judge people for the business thinking they don't have the money to maybe get in. And so the other comment she made to me, which I thought was interesting, was she said, "You seem different than when we first met you several years ago when you started coming here." She said, "Were you wearing the patches then?" And I said, "No." She goes, "I can tell you're different." So I thought, well, that's kind of a testimony too.
Absolutely. You weren't even pushing for that one.
Yeah. So anyway.
I love that. Thanks, Sue. I heard somewhere, and I'm pretty sure it was our CEO that told us about it in one of the meetings we have, and I think I've shared it here, but if someone really doesn't have the money, they'll never tell you that. If they really don't have it, it's likely they'll never tell you that because they don't want to admit that, right? So there's some psychological stuff behind that. So it's very important to never do the prejudging. Yeah. Hey, Welbin, hold your story till the end. I promise I won't forget you and come back to you, but I'd move on a little bit because we just have like 18 minutes left here. The mastermind. I want us to switch gears from stories and what we do all the time and demos and how those work. And I want us to talk about the mastermind for a minute. So if you were on the mastermind Zoom on Saturday and you were listening and you were actively involved, just raise your hand. I just want to see on the screens how many of you, because I know we had 1,500. I just want to see. Yeah, almost everybody I can see on the screen. That's awesome. I love it. So I want to hear from you. I know what I thought. It was the second time I heard it. It was the same thing in Dallas, same thing in Montreal that he did. However, there was more. It was so much more towards the end that he packed in there and really hit home with. And so, Debbie Cromwell, go ahead, unmute and share with me your favorite takeaway from the mastermind, if you will. She's got her book ready. She's going to teach to us. Y'all get ready to take notes.
I like to do. I haven't studied it enough, though. I've been at work all day. I thought the personal story was interesting. So I've been trying to kind of think about how I want to make my story, because I could go like a whole bunch of different ways on it. So I might pick your brain to help me go through that.
Absolutely. I'll help you.
Yeah.
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 Because you're realizing that that's what people want to hear is from you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. They want to hear that raw, real Debbie that wants to share that authentic, genuine life that she lives, right? I love that.
Yeah. Good.
Anything else that stood out? So many more. Do you want to take one more thing you want to share that you thought?
My big takeaway, I mean, I was just like pumped up, like afterwards. I mean, I was just like, oh my gosh, he just like made it so easy not to have that fear. So like, that's my biggest thing is fear. I mean, I have so much fear. It's not even funny. It overtakes me. I have to really push myself. And he just made it so easy. And he's like, who cares? Who cares what people think, you know? And that's the way you got to look at it. I got to be a Sherry. I got to be a Carrie. So that's my plan. That's my plan. But it's always those people that, those are the hardest ones to do. But I did do 2 demos last week at work. So I'm happy that I went across that bridge and did that.
I love that. And when she does them, she lets me know right away. And then the conversation they have and where to take it the next step. So I love that, Debbie. Thank you. I'm looking forward to watching you really shine, because you have a special gift to share and to give and to crawl out. It's time to come out of that hole and start living what you were living, what you're made to do. She's already shared with me, and I'm going to make it public. She's already sharing with me that she wants to do this full time come June. So everyone that has heard that from me right now, start praying for her journey and what that looks like, because retirement, what that can look like for you and where you need to be. And so when you make that statement, Debbie, and you did, and I just made it public without your permission.
Well, that's my plan. So.
Yes. And so you've got a whole lot of accountability. There's 46 people on here rooting for you. So I'm super excited that you shared that. And you missed the first one, Debbie, in Dallas, because you were in the hospital.
No, I know.
And you were super bummed. So I'm so glad he did it online so that more people could be a part of that. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Your hand is up. What was your favorite takeaway from the mastermind?
Which language?
Okay, so I was on vacation with my part of my family that has cancer, and before they start their next big trial. So I got the very first 45 minutes, and I can't wait for the rest of it. But my takeaway was that he just went on and on about how difficult it is, and this percentage gets to be associates, and then they all quit, and then they're wanting to get to the next level, and they all quit, and how hard that is. And actually, it was super, super encouraging, because we all think that. And he actually went to detail about what we need to do not to think that way. So it was super encouraging that I'm not the only one. You're not the only one. Nobody here is the only one thinking those things. But he actually gave us ways to ward those thoughts off and just focus on what's ahead. And I really love that. And that was the first 45 minutes. I can't wait for the rest.
You're going to love it. You're
I
gonna
know.
love it. Thank you for sharing that. Steve, real quick. How many times did you quit this year? It's only February. How much did you fire yourself this year?
Yeah, I mean, really, what Sherry was talking about there, I don't know if some of you were cringing when she was saying that, because that is the reality of this business. You get the thing just rocking and rolling, and all of a sudden, people that they don't even, and they haven't had volume for 2 months. You're like, did you quit? Well, just because somebody else stops working the business, that has nothing to do with you. That's why, and Jay was talking a lot about this. Your reason why you're building this business has to be so powerful. It's like when people tell me no, I sit back and go, well, you're not going to make my car payment for me anyways. Next. And it's the same people that get in and they quit. It's like, well, so what? Sometimes I just wish people would tell me that they're going to quit. It's like, listen, I've quit a lot of things, and I think I'm going to quit a lot of things in the future, and I just want to let you know. It'd be nice if people would just say that right up front. But listen, it is worth every bit of broken glass and barbed wire that you have to crawl over to get to where you want to be. And the reality of this business is people don't see it the way that you see it, even after they sign up. But a lot of times, you guys, people will remain customers and they'll continue to buy the product, and that just creates a lot of volume. And so that, you've heard me say this a billion times, the lifeblood of your organization is always new people. The day that you stop bringing people into this business is the day your business is going to start going the other way. So always look for new customers and new associates.
Yeah, I love it. Crystal, how many times did you fire yourself over the past year?
I don't even know if I can admit this. Like every other day. Every other day. I'm done with your attitude, lady. Like every other day. Yeah. Like I said earlier, it's a constant reminder to get out of your own head every single day. So, and when you've been doing this and the stuff Steve's talking about, I'm in a rebuild right now. I mean, I could say all day long that I've got 700 people on my team, but guess what, you guys? There's a lot of those people that come in and they stop ordering, they stop getting active, they stop showing up to events and Zooms and plugging in in a leader's standpoint, you have to you have to remind yourself every day that, number one, it's not always your fault that happens, and number two, sometimes it is. And so for me, it was a wake up call for some of the things that I need to do and some of the things I need to let go and bless and release, so that I can effectively run my business, and not have any doubt,
Yeah, we need those kicks in the tails just as well. Whether it's your first day, first week, you've been here 50 years, we're constantly learning. And one of my favorite things that Steve says, and this just, Sherry, you just hit so much of how we feel, but one of my favorite things he says is never quit on a bad day. And so I'll text him and be like, listen, today has been horrible. I'm quitting tomorrow if it's a repeat. And it's not normally a repeat the next day. And so I let him know ahead of time, look, I'm quitting tomorrow. And then tomorrow gets to do what it's going to do. And he's never quit on a bad day, which means you'll never quit. Jamie, share with us a favorite takeaway from the mastermind.
The whole thing was absolutely amazing. I mean, I've seen stuff like this many, many, many times, but it was just really, really good. And I need to look through all my notes. But the one thing that I was just amazed by was when he was sharing about doing the positive affirmations and how he figured out, and I'm just like, every time I listen to him talk, I'm like, this guy is such a genius. Like, where does he come up with this stuff? Talking about how I figured out you got to use liberty, joy, peace, and kick it together. And, you got to wear them for at least 15 minutes. write your name backwards a few times. And I want to make sure I have this right because I saw somebody write, I think it was in Miracle Workers last night. Somebody was wondering if they got it right, and I want to make sure I have the instructions right. He said you write your name backwards a few times, and I think he said wait 15 minutes, and then you got to sit face forward with your eyes down, and then you repeat or write or draw the positive affirmations for 10 to 15 minutes. I think that's how it is. And correct me if I'm wrong, because I want to do it. I did not do it this morning, but I'm like, oh my gosh, like, because I used to do positive affirmations all the time, and I've gotten away from a lot of really good habits. I'm like, I need to try this because that just intrigues me like crazy.
You said it right on, Jamie. It's exactly how you
Okay.
said it. And actually, Karen had asked in a private chat over here too on the sidelines for us to put it. So I'll put it up there too to make sure we have it. But yeah, it works. It works. And it's so cool how it works.
And then if you come to tomorrow's training, we're going to do that together in the training. So we're going to practice what that looks like. We're going to put it to action. That's going to be during the day tomorrow. So that'll be fun. Thank you, Jamie, for sharing that. He's a flipping genius. I mean, God has blessed this man. And I sat there and listened to his story and how he wanted a bike. He really wanted that bike. And then his parents, his dad gave him the stupid encyclopedias. And I'm just so thankful his dad did that. Sit and think about that. And I'm sure he got a bike at some point or borrowed a friend's and probably went out and kicked rocks and was angry for a while. You can imagine as a child. Emotions and the disappointment. The thing that I fell in love with Jay about when I first met him was his genuine character and the fact that he loves the Lord and he's here to share that. And he's not afraid to say it. You know that when he says that from stage, it's not just hogwash like all these other CEOs that we've heard before that will say it just for publicity. I've watched him on a Zoom and someone has assumed because he's Indian that he serves or believes a certain tradition or way or religion. And he has called them out. I remember in the beginning on the Zoom, and he's called that person out and goes, let's keep your comments to yourself. I know who created me. I know who I serve. He's not afraid to call it what it is. And he is just a man of his word. And so when he suggests liberty, joy, peace, kick it, and I took everything off that I had on, and I put on liberty, joy, peace, and kick it and went, I'm doing this. And then while we're sitting there on the Zoom, because we weren't in a crowd and I could do whatever I wanted right here at my desk, I wrote my name backwards. Okay. I wrote my name backwards. And then below it, I just put, let the positive affirmations begin. And that is just the beginning of something that I hope just takes precedence in my whole life. Did y'all like tap into what we could do with that? Did you think beyond the patches with that? Did anybody go, oh, like that, those 4 alone could be a standalone at a vendor event where you have a table and this is just coming to me right now, Crystal, so write it down. And as you have, different working stations with colored pens and maybe a mirror sitting there and you're wanting someone to write their name backwards. And then in that same minute, they're sitting there, maybe you've got some music playing and there's some light trees and different light. I don't know. Like I'm thinking of like a spa, like a retreat weekend that has to do with liberty, joy, peace, and kick it. We're kicking out those negative thoughts and we're asking the joy and peace to take us in, but we have to have liberty to be able to have it. Do y'all feel it? Are you feeling on pillows? We're eating queso. I don't know what we're doing, but I see it being such a movement, Steve. We haven't even tapped into what these patches can do. I hope that Alexandra, that's new on here, I'm not scaring her away, but getting her excited, Jamie, about what to look forward to with what we have. I know Tanya Williams has made some different combos of patches that you can use for different things. And people have talked about, well, what's the flu combo? I'm like, liberty, defend, and freedom. Yeah, Debbie, remember we were talking about a flu combo. So there's all these things that we can do to help people and just put it in your head and go, you know what, y'all? It's not just about the patches. We help people emotionally, relationally, physically, financially, spiritually. Gosh, there's so much that we can do with that. So my brain just went and I sat with it for a minute and I was like, we got to do something. We got to have us like a little positive retreat weekend. I don't know what's going to come of it, but God does. And so I'm here for it. And I know Jay's all for it. And I love that he's like, this is so much more than patches. You're not patch people, y'all. You're not a patch lady. You're not a patch man. You're put on this planet by a God that knows how many hairs are on your head or not how many hairs are on your head, depending on how many you have, to go spread joy and peace to the world. And he named the patch that. Doesn't get easier than that to understand what your purpose is to empower others. Dana Fisher, unmute and share with me your favorite takeaway from the mastermind.
Hi guys. When Jay was talking about the tap rooting, he said, you mine for diamonds, not coal. You still have to dig, but most coal under pressure turns to dust. So in other words, don't give up, and I remember, I just like that. I like that a lot. And I'm going to do this 4-patch thing. I didn't do it today, but I'm going to do it tomorrow morning with you.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. Thank you, Dana. We don't like to be pressed. We don't like to be pressured. It's comfortable to come home and everything is just right and it's all in its place and nothing's out of sorts, and the kids act just how they need to and everything's great with your spouse, your partner, wherever you're living, and you have enough money in your account, and we like everything to be just so, right? When we start getting pressed, we start getting uncomfortable, we're like, ugh. But if we just stay focused to know that it's growing us. And here's the thing, Dana, throughout that pressing process, whatever you learn through it, it's because you're supposed to share that with somebody else. So you know what I'm terrified of right now? You guys don't know what I'm going through personally. Some of you do. But what I'm going through, I'm terrified of how I'm going to help someone in the future. But I know it's going to be used for the good. Do y'all hear me? When you go through something, when you admit to something, Debbie Cromwell, when you're like, I need this for this reason, it's because you're going to be put in an uncomfortable situation down the road where you're going to help someone. So you don't just get uncomfortable for a little bit for your growth. It's going to be for someone else's growth and their hope. Because look at the cat. Miss J, your cat just totally sidetracked me. I look down and I see like a lion and I'm like, what just happened? It's this orange, big eyeballs. Sorry, y'all. What you get pressed on and what you go through is going to be used for good later. Okay. So use that. Take that in. Thank you, Dana, for reminding us of that. Paula Red, I see your hand is up. Glad to see you made it.
Here's some.
Yeah, so it's good to be here. There was so much on Saturday's training, and I'm sure everyone feels this way. I really wanted to cry about some of the things because it's like, why am I making so many excuses and, all that. But anyway, one of the things that really hit home to me was he said the absence of leadership is failure of leadership. And in thinking about that, he said, if your team does not believe that you know what you are doing, they will not follow you. And, I think I have an amazing team. I know I have an amazing team, and I want them to be able to do what I do and be able to be successful. And Elizabeth, okay, so I had 5 of my team members here with me on Saturday watching the Zoom. We had lunch and brought different, things to eat and snack on and stuff. And it was just an amazing day. But as we sat around afterwards and talked about everything, Elizabeth, and I think she's on here tonight, she made a comment which really stuck in my head. And she said, we as associates, we cast the net and we let our leadership do the work to bring in the haul. And, I've been trying to do it on my own, just, because I think I just don't have time to, get with them and do this. But just the more I hear it, the more I'm starting to understand that's the way to do it, And so I'm just excited for what the future holds.
I love that.
And how things are going to change.
I love that. Thank you for that. And you are a great leader and you're doing great things. That's why your team is growing. And I'm jealous that you guys got together. That sounds like a fun time. Paula, you made me think about when the guys were out fishing and they couldn't find anything. And Jesus said, hey, throw your nets over here instead. And they did. And they had so much in their nets and it was beginning to break their nets and it was beginning to take the ships down, and they called their buddies over to come, and it was just this overabundance. And often we try to just do it our way. And we just need to hear just that one small voice that goes, but did you do this? Or when we say something, it's like, but did you try this? Did you just do that 3-way? Like Jamie has literally said in the comments, and she's a great example of using your upline. Steve brought her in the business. She's been watching for I don't know how long. I don't know the whole story. I'll make up the parts I don't know, Jamie. That's what we do here. No, but seriously, she said, I just bring them and Steve does the work. How many times do we just need to know where to cast the net and then just like let it fall, right? And if it's not on the right side, like try the other way. So I love that you said that. I love that you shared what you're doing. And so we do need to hear, because if someone's been successful before, I want to do what they're doing. I mean, I want to do what I did in the beginning. I am my competition. In the beginning, I was demoing 30 people in 1 week. Are you kidding me? When was the last time I did that? Almost 3 years ago. I was consistent on TikTok and got 13, 14 people to join me in the business and 36 new customers. Because of a certain hashtag? No. I remember sitting next to Sandra and we put the same video out and the same hashtags, and we're like, why does one work for I have no idea how the algorithm works. But that's why Crystal, who has grown her followers on Facebook, I'm doing what she said. And tomorrow in the training, those people that are doing this full time and from home and looking at it, you're going to get to see it. We're going to do Blimp. So you take on and you do things that people have done because it works, right? I meant it when I told Steve, you made 20 million. Well, I'm going to make 40. And he's like, preach it, sister, because I'm going to push you all the way through, right? I love that. I love what we're hearing from people. This is incredible. You're going to have to lean in for a minute because we're not quite done just yet. Kim, go ahead and share. I see your hand is up, and then I'm going to go over back to Larry's, and then Crystal, I'm going to come to you. Share with us your favorite takeaway, Kim, from the mastermind. I know you had a lot of stuff to say.
Oh my gosh. There's not one particular thing that there was so much. And of course, and I know someone else said it, I'm not the best note taker either. So don't be ashamed of that. And that was one of the things that Jay had said, never be ashamed to want to provide more for yourself and family. And then that kind of went into that field of contentment is dangerous. Most people quit when not supposed to. If money is your only problem, then you don't have a problem. Never be ashamed to provide more for it. There was so much, and a lot of it was like a big, huge slap in the face. And I know I've been through a lot with this since the beginning, since I started, and not being able to really do much, especially on social media. And it's been a struggle to not be able to do certain things because it's just, and since this, I've been so geared up, and it's to just do stuff. And it's like, I'm to that point now, it's like, okay, enough is enough.
That's awesome.
And and there was quite a few things. And I know even towards the end, he seemed to be getting more, to me, more blunt about stuff and more direct, that quit getting in your own darn way. Quit getting in your own stinking way. And it was like, many times I'm like going, it just seemed like he was going through the screen and just.
Yeah, right? I felt it too. Kim, especially when he was like, if you're this kind of leader, like, you suck. Don't be that person. And I was like, I can't be that. And I was getting slapped in the face too. Thank you, Kim. Enough is enough. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And I know we could go on and on, right? Like, we really could. And I want y'all to share in Miracle Workers. Jamie, will you put that stuff you're putting in the chat in Miracle Workers, please? Thank you. I appreciate you. Okay. Crystal, go ahead, share your takeaway. And then Weldon, I want to hear your story. Then we're gonna wrap up.
Oh, sorry. I didn't pause long enough. Okay. So we are going to talk about this tomorrow during Miracle Moments, but every single part of what Jay said I loved, and I think you probably already all expected me to say that, but there are a few things that really stood out to me, and one of those things was, look at your phone. Every person in your phone already has an opinion of you. I'm going to go and be very humbly honest with you and tell you I have like 200 contacts in my phone and they all suck. They all suck. I have not been someone that has built my phone list like that. I've done so much on social media for so long. That's where my contacts are. And so I started spinning my wheels. And at first I was in my brain and I was like, oh, great. Well, I have no one in my phone. I really went through the list and I sent like 2 messages in total and I deleted like 7 people. Okay. So I was like, this is not where I'm going to find my people. And maybe some of you were thinking that, like, if I don't know how many people you have in your phone, but I'm being very just honest with you. So I decided I'm going to go where I've invested my time and where I've had to invest my time because I've been laid up in bed for all this time, wasn't out face-to-face networking, getting people's phone numbers. It was on social media, which is why why I created the Blimp system and figured out tools to help me grow, because that's where I was primarily growing and still am primarily building my business. And so I took that into thought and I really evaluated that. And I was like, okay, well, how am I going to go out there and find all these new leads? Like I'm going to use social media. I'm going to do these things. And I thought, well, I'm going to say the Holy Spirit just brought a thought to me. And that was, you already have a whole lot of leads. What are you doing? And when I had that thought come to mind, I was like, well, wait a minute. I have followers and I have Facebook friends and people I've invited and added and all the things. And did you guys know that you can download your information straight from Facebook? Did you know that? I'm going to teach you how tomorrow. But it might scare you a little how much information they actually have of you. And so I decided, okay, I'm going to start small because I've been doing the Facebook thing for a long time, a long time. And so I just did this last year and I went in there and I downloaded, it took a couple days for them to get it to me. So patience is a virtue. So I did this Saturday, I got it today, and I downloaded only the people that have followed me in the last year and only the people that I've added as friends. A lot of you were on that friends list. So don't worry, I won't be messaging you or your friends. I don't blimp you guys. But I realized that I had, and hold the pants of your seat here because I've worked a long time. I've worked a long time to do this, but I had over 47,000 people follow me last year. And I downloaded all those names and I sent a screenshot to Steve and Carrie today. You guys got it for proof. Okay. And I broke it down. If I reach out to only 20 of those people a day, I'm good for the next 6.5 years. 6.5 years. Okay. And this all comes from just being consistent and being myself and storytelling. And the way Jay shared with us to share a story, every conversation I've had since has been so much easier because I don't have a fear of what these people think of me. And I thought the same thing. If they followed me, it means I made an impression on them. If they're on my friends list, they already have an opinion of me. So what is holding me back? Me. And so I downloaded that and I thought, well, if some of you are like me and maybe you've been building from your bed all these years, or maybe you haven't even started building yet, that's why we do some of these systems, because now I'm going to reach out to those people and I have them all in a spreadsheet. It's like 1,000 some pages to print it. So I won't be printing it, but I have them all on a spreadsheet now. And you may not have that many, but I just want you to understand that a lot of you have 500 people on your friends list. A lot of you have a few thousand on your friends list. So there's already so many people we could be reaching out to. And that's what I'm going to be doing. So not only did I take that, and that was my favorite part, but I'm now going to direct that energy into action, because it doesn't mean anything if I just know it. I've got to do it. And so Carrie, I know I kind of pushed into miracle moments, but I'm just going to say this, that Carrie and I have done a lot of soul searching over the last couple days, and we really take into the advice of our CEO. He's our ultimate leader. Like, God has put him in this position. Someone said earlier, I think it was you, Jamie, where you talked about him just being a genius. He is. He is. And he is someone that has mastered the mindset, literally, that we all need to have. And so we talked a lot about that, and we're like, what do we do? And we said, we just got to get into full intentional action. And so that's what we're going to do tomorrow. But we're going to talk you guys through the things that we're doing, because we're always trying to reinvent the wheel too. And the reality is you just have to kind of go into your back pocket and see what you've already got, what you've been sitting on all this time. And for me, that was a lot of people, and that's not even my entire list. That's just people I connected with in the last year. So that's what I've got, Carrie.
She's choosing to stop because she knows it will continue. How many of you like people that always worry? How many of you like people that try to tell you what to do? Do you like people that enjoy secrecy? How about pessimist? Who looks to have a friend that's a pessimist? Anybody? Like, these are people that we can't talk glass half full, half empty. They don't have a flipping glass. They just can't even find the glass. You like people like that? Do you like people that like love to tell you all the bad news going on in the world? How about people that get offended by everything? How about those people? Those are fun to hang out with, right? Like, judge me by the case of what I eat. I dare you. How about complainers? Y'all love the complainers? When they're calling you, you're like, I can't have to complain about. What about underachievers? Do you guys like people that don't get excited about their future? When you tell them, I'm going to Disney World next week, they're like, oh, I hate Mickey.
Gary, can I share something right quick?
Not yet, Miss J. I'm on a roll. How many of you like people that they become energy vampires? When I was in college, I heard the word fun sponge. Think about it. Think about the word fun sponge. They suck all the fun out of everything. Energy vampires. You're excited. You got this new car and you want to pick them up, and they're going to complain about the kind of tires you have or the drive marks you made on their dirt road. You got good news and they'll go, yeah, but I did this and that didn't happen. Y'all like people like that? Then don't choose them to work with. I took away that I'm worth it. My CEO validated that I am a living, breathing human being with a heart, and I'm allowed to decide what gets in my head and what does not. And, you know, as a leader, you guys, and as someone who has shown up and grown and been consistent and helped you, you know, it's you would think that it's like, we got to make time for everybody. You do, and I do. You just have to limit the time. So those energy vampires, they're going to come in, okay? And you're going to have to figure out where it hurts bad. Maybe they need to suck down by your toes instead of up by your shoulders, because that's closer to your head that really gets to you. Does that make sense? You just really give them a little bit, let them be a little quieter for just a minute. Don't let them get up and get a real big out of your thigh, because that's going to hurt bad. But they can maybe just nip at the bottom, maybe a few minutes a day. But you can't do business with them. Don't expect to grow and run with them. And that was so loud to me as he shared that. And I wanted to ask you all if that's what you want to work with. I mean, I don't know if many of you would follow me if I was drab all the time. I don't think you'd show up on a Monday. Miss J's like, nope, I know I wouldn't. She goes, I'd spend time with my cat over here versus getting on. You know, if the energy wasn't there and if it wasn't exciting. And so just think about your posture. Think about what you do, right? Well, then I want you to share your story, and then I promise you we're wrapping this up, but I've got something at the end. So, Welben, I need you to unmute real quick.
Okay. I'm laughing at what you're saying. It's like so true. Talking about energy, there's a man named Cole Bennett. I met him yesterday while everybody was going for like Super Bowl. He was out doing DoorDash with me, and I see him everywhere. He sees me everywhere, and he was like, I said, man, I gotta start talking to you. I gotta talk to you, man. He was like, man, I gotta talk to you too, because I always see you DoorDashing, man. We started talking. He's talking about his mom having ailments. He's talking about himself having ailments, and I just shared Super Patch with him. And he's gonna be on here tomorrow. He missed it tonight, but he'll be on here tomorrow. It was very simple. I just see him all the time. That's one. Then I learned that I'm not always, if I'm not doing DoorDash, like I need to be somewhere at a health expo. Go to the place where people are at that say they want the stuff that we do. Go to a health expo. So I'm signing up for a health expo March 2nd. And one more thing. I'm wearing Focus right now on the back of my neck. And I was wearing Focus that day. And I don't know. I was wearing Focus and I wrote a book. Because I'm a writer. And I really haven't gotten the chance to whole screen froze. Is everybody still there?
We're here. I'm not just staying silent, but we're here. We can hear you.
Can still hear me, but y'all can y'all still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're here. You're here.
Can I share my like half a second and preview something? My book on Amazon.
Do I see if you're able to? May have to.
Okay. Let me see. Sharing is not turned on.
Don't make me a host, Carrie. I think you can only have a few.
All right, let me see if I'm able to do it. There we go. Try it now,
Okay,
Welben.
I did. Boom, got it. I'm gonna share this and boom. So this is my book. It's 520 pages. Paperback sells for $54 in Cali right now. I just put it on Audible. I have a world-renowned narrator named Rich Brennan. It took him almost 12 hours to do, 3 months. And I have it on Kindle too. I did this using the Focus Patch. I want to stop sharing now. I did this. I put this Focus Patch on and started writing what I wanted to write. And that's what the end result was. So if you want to say the Focus Patch works, I'm a guy who's mostly always unfocused because I have 1,000 things to do. But I was able to focus on that book and knocked it out of the park. So
I love that. You guys give him a hand. That's a huge deal. That is a huge accomplishment. Welben, throw the link to your book in Miracle Workers, because we love to learn from each other and then get ready to lead a training, because you just let out like a big rip. So accurate, buddy. Thanks for sharing so much with us. I appreciate that.
In Miracle Workers, I'm not in there.
Yeah, in Miracle Workers.
Okay.
Go share it in there. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, listen, y'all. Larry and Rona, give me just 1 second, because what I got to say right here has got to stick for a hot second. Intentional and intense action. I want you to write down the word intentional and intense. That is going to be the theme of what we do here. In the beginning of doing this business, Steve taught me about 90-day runs. And I told him today, let's get back to the 90-day run, but it takes intentional and intense action that hurts. It's literally a marathon. You find out who wants to do what, who's willing to run where, and who wants to drive as far as you do. Intense and intentional. As you look at those words, what are you intentional about in your life, and what's the intensity level? How much do you have to give to it? Well, it depends. How much do you want out of it? And so, Steve, I want you to share with us your greatest takeaway. You have heard a lot of things throughout network marketing. You have given a lot of speeches. You have argued with me a lot, just still seeing who's paying attention. Yeah, a couple of laughs. Appreciate that. You have definitely been around the block. And a lot of the times that lifelong learner in you comes out here and there. And so as someone that's been around longer than I have, longer than most of us here, you've got 35 years in network marketing, you've been highly successful at it. And that's why I know I can do it. And I always go back to those roots. I always go back to what that is. So I want to know, what was your favorite takeaway, being someone that you would think you know everything?
Well, I tell you, there honestly wasn't too many things that Jay talked about that I didn't go, oh yeah, I know that. Yeah, I knew that. But we have to be reminded of it sometimes. And I think that mastermind's so special is that there were lots of things in there that I knew, but I'm like, well, why don't I do that then? Why don't I do that? And maybe some of you guys thought the same way, but the one thing that was a constant for me as I was listening to Jay on Saturday, and you could apply this to anything in your life, and he said, what you focus on grows. What you focus on grows. Pretty simple sentence, right? If you want to lose weight, focus on it. If you want to learn how to sing, focus on it. You want to learn how to play that guitar, which I won that stupid thing, and I said, I'm going to learn how to play the guitar. I still can't play the guitar. You know why? Because I haven't focused on it. Well, if you apply that to your business, you want to be a VP? Then focus on it. Focus on it. And you notice I skipped team leader, director, managing director. Like, I just jumped right to VP. You want to be a VP? Focus on it. It's like, oh, Steve, how do I focus on it? You learn this. You look at this and go, okay, I need $99,000 in volume. To be a vice president, I've got to have one managing director on my team. Okay, who's that one person going to, and you focus on it. There you go. That's it, Deb. Do you guys know how many people it's going to take to get to $99,000 in volume? I don't. I mean, it might take 100,000 people, all with $1 worth of volume. Or it might take 50 people that come in with the momentum kit. That's 50. Now, you're not going to 50 people. Why don't you go bring it in? I'm focusing this for you. So it's like, well, why don't you go get 5 or 10 people and teach them to get 5 or 10 who get 5 or 10. And all of a sudden, whoa, I just got there in 3 weeks. Whatever you focus on grows. The problem with most of us is that we are so scattered that we try to focus on 100 different things at the same time and nothing gets done. It's like, well, I know, but Steve, I have a job and I've got kids. I'm like, yep, I know. But what you focus on is going to grow. So that's what I took out of Saturday. And, I think you guys should figure out something in this business. Okay, forget about outside this business for just a second, but figure out inside this business what you can really focus on. Okay, there are 2 people on this call here, and one of them, Carrie, called out personally and said, I want to quit my job full time. Jamie tells me every single day she wants to do this full time. Okay? Focus on it. Focus on it. It's not going to be easy. When I was teaching school, and I got involved in this business, this was back in August of 1990. It took me about 3 months to realize, oh my gosh, teaching school is not my future. This is not my future. I knew networking was my future. And so I focused on it. Yes, I had to go to that school building every single day from 8 in the morning until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But you know what I did while the kids were at recess? I focused on my business. When the kids went to lunch, I focused on my business. When my kids were at music and art and gym, I focused on my business. I had to do what I had to do to pay my mortgage that month, but I knew it wasn't my future. And for 32 years now, 32 years, this has been my full-time focus. Been in the business for 35 years, 32 of them full-time. But it took me 3 years to focus on it, to go full-time. And I created generational wealth for my family. And you guys have that ability if you focus on it. Find something that you're passionate about and focus on it, and it will grow. Carrie.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for that, Steve. And thank you for continuing to show up and push and all the things that you do. One of the quotes that Zig Ziglar said is, you can have everything in life you want if you will just help other people get what they want. So not only does Debbie say out loud, I want to do this full-time come June, it is my job, my duty to help her do that. And in doing that, I get what I want. I get the fulfillment of watching her get what she wants. You see how this teamwork thing plays? You pass that baton, you go, and then she's going to help someone get what they want, so she can in return get what she wants. And the same thing, and it's going to triple effect until we have this incredible model that works and it's duplicatable and all the things are happening. So you guys, I know that I've kept you much longer than you planned. That doesn't mean I'm getting off. Mr. and Miss Sutton, it doesn't mean I'm getting off. That just means I'm putting you on pause for a hot second, okay? I'm going to pray everybody out of here, and then I have a couple more things to say, but praying will release you to go, and if you want to stick around for a couple more minutes, we'll hear what you have to say, and I'll share something else. So, Lord, right now I ask that you just come into the hearts and the places of where these people are sitting right now, into their homes, into their cars, in their closets, in their kitchens, wherever they're at. God, you meet them right there where they are, and you give them the strength, and you work through their minds the way that they need to work. You upholster them with courage and boldness so that they can go share their story. God, give them the peace that only you can, that allows them to share their story wherever they go and to understand the impact they have because you called them by name to open up their mouth. Thank you for this mastermind. Thank you for our CEO. Thank you for the leadership we have here and throughout the whole company. And thank you for the people you're going to put in front of us and the lives that are going to be changed because we said yes to trying something. We love you, Lord. It's your name I pray. Amen. So tomorrow night, get people on the Opportunity Zoom. That is your job, to get people on. Invite. We're going to do that again in Miracle Moments tomorrow. If you can make it beyond there, that link, Crystal posted all of those links in Miracle Workers. I'm trying to make all the words right. Facebook page, you have them all there. After Steve does the Opportunity Zoom tomorrow night, we're going to have the testimonies of the patches. Please come share those. Bring your guests there. We'll close your guests on there. If we need to talk and they want to have a conversation, we will absolutely do that right after. We'll do a Q&A. That Q&A time is for your guests, not for associates. That's where Miracle Workers happens. That's where texting, message groups, all that happens. So thank you all so much for being on, and I wish you an incredible rest of your night. Larry and Rona, share with me what you have to say. I see your hand is still up. Thank you for being patient.
Yeah, my biggest takeaway, and I thoroughly enjoyed the Zoom webinar, and I had been presented with that storytelling, and I was able to tell my story before, but I realized it's an ongoing story, and you just have to be authentic with yourself because people care more about your story and where you're going. It's more about that, and then they will follow you, whether it's a match, that part doesn't matter. Yeah. So what I realize is that I love the fact that he gave that blueprint, because now I say, you know what? Now I could really critique my story, because not only is it, like he said, a beginning, a middle, and an end. And it's about, okay, well, which direction I'm going to take? So that little outline is going to help me to finish creating my story. Because I said, I know I got more to tell, but I can't quite tell it. But that outline is going to help me get it done.
I love that. And I love that you said it's ongoing. It's ongoing.
Yes.
It's not over till it's over, right?
Exactly.
You know, Carrie, and I was
Yeah.
just thinking too, Rona, I was
Yeah.
just thinking too, like that's why we do these testimony Zooms too after the opportunity call, because it gives all of us
Mhm.
practice in telling our story too and telling it to different crowds. I'm so excited. I love that.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
love it.
Larry.
Crystal, you shut yourself off before you're even done talking.
Mhm.
It's the stallion. It's the stallion. The master, the mastermind. I really enjoyed it. It's positive. Be positive, not negative. I've been doing that for 70 years. Always be positive, never negative. I also like what he said. True love, state of mind affects your subconscious. I agree with that. I agree with that. I agree with that. He also said, one minute. 60% of people don't have $500 in their savings. I agree with that. I really agree with that. I got $500 in my savings, and I want to turn it to $1 million.
There you go.
That's it.
Yeah.
The
That's
stallion.
not it. You're just choosing to stop there, Stallion. We're gonna watch you run. I love it.
I always say, I don't say too much. I just say enough and shut up.
I love that. You say what needs to be said. I love it. Thanks, Larry.
Shut up, because I am the stallion.
So many of these people, Larry, are wondering what the heck you're talking about. This is why you got to jump on Zooms, you guys. This is why you got to jump on.
Always remember, laughter is good medicine.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
good medicine.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Because the Holy Spirit, he rains down on me every day. The Holy Spirit rains down on me every day. And I love all of you. God bless all of you.
I told y'all he wasn't done. You proved me right there, Larry. I appreciate that blessing. Thank you. I love you too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you.
Erica, you have something to say? I'm gonna let Larry preach if you don't get up here and talk quick.
I know I got hot over here. My biggest takeaway was whenever Jay was talking about building resilience through failure and using your personal story, sharing your story, that 360 part, because if we always go on Facebook or whatever platform and we always talk about everything that's great or try to make out like it's all great, I mean, where's the feedback come from? Lately, my butt has been kicked like since January. It's just been I've been in a challenge of trying to push forward, and it's something that's pulling me back. But here I am.
Yeah.
So that was my biggest thing. And I think it really helped with him talking about pursuing passion despite the challenges. That really stood out.
Erica, you've been through so much, and listening to your growth just in the short time that I've known you, I can see that you really plug in and you really just like take it all to heart, and then you evaluate yourself so much. But you have such a journey, such a story to share, and I think that it's so special that that's the part that stood out to you because, well, emotions. You don't know who your story is going to impact. And when you can share what you've gone through and how you've overcome, I mean, that's why Jay's stories that he shared with us were so special. That's why I've proceeded to use them on my kids. Like, I'm getting you all encyclopedias. You're going to read to me and teach me. They're shaken. But you take everything you've gone through, and sometimes we get so stuck in our mind that we think, well, who am I going to help? Or I don't have a big story, but all of us have big stories. And I'm so excited for you because that little portion, and obviously we've spoken to, and but just that little portion of what you've taken from this weekend's mastermind, and knowing that you're going to take that and you're going to share your authentic story, and your authentic story is yours because you're meant to help other people with that. And I mean, like, sorry, Kira, I'm not sorry, I'm going to say it, but we each look at growth. We each go through so much. And some people think, well, I don't have a big enough story. But the reality is everything you've encountered in your life, every hardship, every trial you've ever faced, you have faced because your purpose in life, God's purpose through that journey, is for you to use that to help other people. We're called to serve. And that's why it's so special what we do at Super Patch, because our stories allow us to serve others by sharing our story, by showing people how we've persevered. And so I'm so proud of you for, number one, just being here and on camera, and for speaking up, but for plugging all the way in, because it's not easy to do when you feel like you're out on the ledge. So I'm just really excited for you.
I appreciate y'all.
I love it. Thank you, Erica, for sharing. Thank you, Crystal, for aligning all of it. On Sunday, we went to church, and for the first time, our kids' friends went with us. And there's a church that we've started going to. Well, we're not like, anyway, doesn't matter, but it's like 8 minutes away. And it's been here for 5 years that we've lived here. And for 5 years, they've had these friends that live in the cul-de-sac that don't have that relationship with Jesus, that don't go to church. And we've invited them to camp and different things that they've done. And so they were going to go with us to the Super Bowl party. And then, I told them, I said, we'd be back from church at, probably 11:45, 12. And they go, well, what time are we going to church? And I went, I was like, you want to go? Like, y'all want to go to church with us? This is 3 kids, but 2 of them are graduated seniors this year. Okay. They've been best friends with our kids for 5 years now. Live just 2 houses down the street. One of them has the same house as ours, just flip. So you get in a picture of love your neighbor and be a part of your community and your neighbor. And I saw someone write in here how great this community is. I think it was you, Sue. I read your comment. You don't realize the part you play in your own community and how people are watching you in your own community. Where your car drives out, they're looking to go. Do they go left or right? They know how fast you drive down your street. They know if you say hi. They know if you get your mail, on Tuesday, or if you wait till Thursday. They know if you're late to pull your trash out. They know how well you keep up with your grass, or maybe if they see you at the grocery. You hear what I'm saying, or y'all hearing it? Like, people are watching you. They're nosy. I'm nosy. Make sure that what they're seeing in you is something that's going to give them life. But more importantly, don't wait to share with them what you have. I never thought that maybe they'd want to go to church. I've never thought that, well, if we go to this one that's closer here on Sunday versus the one that takes 45 minutes to go on Wednesday. You understand? You hear my head? Been doing ministry for 17 years now. Well, what time are we going to church? And I was like, I got loads of excited. This is a family, a little girl that's never had a stocking at Christmas. I know everybody has different religions and different traditions and different things, but for me, that means if you're not really celebrating that, it comes with different meanings. Like, it's a big deal. Jesus' birthday and everything that comes around that, like his birth, it's all just a big deal around Christmas. So the gifts and the giving and what that looks like, because he gave and all this stuff. So here we go, y'all, to church. All 7 of us. Take 2 different cars. And I'm sitting in there and I'm like, God, you were good. And the message that was preached was the exact message they needed to hear. But it's because they went with us. Okay? Jamie, as you bring people along the journey, we're going to speak stuff they need to hear. You just got to put them on the train with you. And I don't know where you sit with any of this, but we are involved in something that is so powerful, so life-changing, so miraculous. And you get a front seat if you bring people with you. So we take them to church. And on the way home, the young man who's 19, and they share all kinds of stuff with us, y'all. As I've got 2 boys here and their friends, they just share everything. Kids do that. They just open up. He said it was like they knew we were coming. That's such a loud message to me when I think of miracle workers, when I think of the trainings we have, when I think of Jay, when I think of the in-person meetings we're going to be doing in the Super Patch Tour. It's like they knew you were coming. Approach life as if they know you're coming. When you bring joy and peace and patience and kindness and goodness and self-control and all of the great things with you, you're going to be welcomed by those that want to hear your message. Don't be afraid to invite someone. It could be that one thing that changes the entire rest of their life. And I'm just so super thankful that they went to church and got a taste of that and they loved it. They don't use my patches. They think I'm crazy because they're, teens and they know everything. That's fine. That's fine. I'll let Crystal get a hold of them when she meets them because they share the same autoimmune issues. And I'm like, whatever. I'll talk to my friends when they get here in a couple weeks. But y'all, this is a beautiful community. I love you all so much. You have no idea. I've been talking to a whole lot of you since this weekend, setting up 3-way calls. So I know you watched, I know you heard, and I know you want to share. So keep doing it. We'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time and 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And after that, come share those stories. They're needed. Your voice is needed. I don't want to hear myself talk all the time. I tell my kids that. I don't want to hear myself talk all the time. Welvin's going to lead the next one. We're going to find out all about that book. All right, y'all. Thank you for everybody for pouring in, sharing. I love you all. Go do what you do on Monday nights when you get off here, okay? We'll talk to you later.
Bye. Have a good night.
Bye. Good night. Thank you for being on.